Right, so this is a sort of a midsummer update. 23rd of June, so we're a couple of days past the solstice, but it's only about 8:30 in the morning. It's already 19 degrees, I would say, maybe a little bit warmer than that. It feels hot in the sun. And the pigs I've finally given them right to the top end of this this paddock. I've just fed them their barley, and they've done a pretty good job actually. I've just given them this, yesterday. I just gave them this whole last piece, which is a bit bigger than I've been giving them every day. Well, they've turned it over pretty good. They're doing all right. So we've got carnivals coming up. So we're going to need 6 of them in July, and the big one will be going. Sausages, I've decided not to put her to the boar because just with the way everything's going and the price pigs are making, and trying to keep them through the winter, and I'm trying to cut back a little bit on my workload. And I don't know, we're probably going to cut back on the amount of hog roast we're doing. So all in all, we'll just see how it goes. I might buy some weaners in the autumn. So there we go. I haven't planted anything in here yet, but the pigs will be moving out of here probably tomorrow. Up into the seeds, which I'll just look at in a minute. And then this will be left for 3 weeks, and then I might put the pigs back in, just clear up any weeds that regrow, and then stubble turnips for the sheep for the winter then, so I won't need stubble turnips for the pigs for the winter. If I might got a few. Anyway, the ducks are in here. I expect they're getting quite hot now. It's a bit late for letting them out, but I've been having a look at other stuff. They took to this pretty well, this system. They seem to go in all right. They haven't had a massive amount of eggs, but about 2 weeks ago they started to lay. They've got complete free run of the farm, and they do go quite a long way away. I've seen them. Well, luckily they haven't made it down to the lake yet, because I don't know if they make it down to the lake, I might not be able to get them back from there. And I've got the electric fence hooked up to the mesh on the bottom, just in case we get a fox visit. But they seem to like it in there, and I'm just giving them a bit of barley. And I've worked out that if I fill these 2 troughs every evening and shout, they all come running back. And they don't eat much in the evening or overnight, and then whatever's left, which is that, I put out, and they've cleared that up by the evening again, and I shout and they come back. The pigs are having a little argument about who gets the last bit of corn by the looks of it. I usually feed them in the trough, but it's so dry I just chucked it on the grass there this morning. And yeah, so the ducks started laying and getting about 10 eggs a day. Got 10 here, 10 today. Plus they have been dropping a couple. There's a couple that they've kicked out, I think. It maybe needs a little bit higher side on the thing. So maybe 12 eggs a day from the 16, and there's one that's laying in a hedge over there. And so I've put the eggs in a basket, and see if she does sit on them and go broody, I'll be able to take the basket in and put her somewhere secure. Right, so there's ducks. Go and have a look at the sheep. 9 o'clock in the morning, and the sheep are already looking for shade. Forecast is to be sort of 21, 22 today, and it's already about 20, I would think, but they are forecasting the wind to pick up this afternoon, this evening, and some rain overnight, and then tomorrow and the next couple of days wet and windy. So we're going to make the most of it. Look at this, no wind at all, and sunny. It's been like this for the last 3 days, so Saturday and Sunday last weekend. So it's Thursday today, so Saturday and Sunday last weekend we had it wet and windy, and then the week before we also had a few days over 20, and one was 25 as well. I think we had 25 yesterday. So yeah, this grass in here is a bit long. It's just a lambing field. and they haven't been in here since we finished lambing really, so it has got a bit long, and I could have cut it for hay, but the cost of diesel and everything versus the cost of hay, and I don't need any more hay. It's got one field earmarked for hay already, maybe two. And also this field has got a few thistles in it, and that's not very nice in hay. So I've decided just put the sheep in and I'll come in and top it off. Yeah, not doing too bad a job. So we crutched them all here last Monday. Had the boys help me do that after they finished work on Monday. And then I set up the handling gear right here, and I sprayed them all with a fly, stop them getting fly strike. I won't say the brand name, but it rhymes with frick, and it is a little bit of one as well. But anyway, sheep are happy, they like this dry weather, and there's quite a bit of nice grass down the bottom that they're pulling out, and then I'll just come in and top off the rest of it in a couple of days, leave them here probably 4 or 5 days, and then I'll split this into 3. They'll be here for a couple of weeks, and then they'll get back out to the fresh grass and clover. And they might have to be a bit less than that, because otherwise I'm going to have grass everywhere, especially if it rains. Oh well, we'll work it out on the go as we usually do. But yeah, some nice lambs coming here now. There's a swarm trap, and looks like I caught another swarm. I only put that trap back up on Monday. It's Thursday now, and they must have been going in there Tuesday and Wednesday. That's crazy. That's the 4th swarm I've caught this year. I did do a video on this box about a month ago. I caught the first one in this box, and then I've transplanted them into a hive now and brought the box back on Monday, and I've already caught another one. I've got a video of that May swarm going into that box, but I don't know how big that one is, but it's looking pretty active. So that's the second one I caught in that box. I've only got 2 swarm boxes up. I've got a third one that's actually at the campsite, but never catch any there. Just put that there for just to see. But yeah, so I've caught 2 in that one, caught 1 in the other one, and I caught 1 that was hanging in my apple trees. So that's 4th swarm of the year. Alright, so this hive here on the scales, it's active already, just after 9. But this is the last month's activity. So you can see they didn't do a lot all through May. It stayed pretty static, and then we got to the start of June and they lost a little bit. That's all down to the weather. And then they put on 6 kilos nearly there in that week, and then they lost 5 of that in 2 days. That was the weekend. It was shocking at the weekend, but I expect that was mostly drying the nectar. And then in the last 3 days, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is exactly 3 days, same time in the morning that I balanced it out, they put on 10 kilos in the 3 days. And this is not the biggest hive I got, not by any stretch. These are probably half the size of the biggest one. So a quick look in the silage bit of the compost. That pile there is last year's that I made over the winter, and I have planted a couple of pumpkins and some radish in there. I also planted some sweetcorn, and that didn't like it. That's completely gone. That's died off. And then this pile here is just pretty much all worm casts, and I put that here for the potatoes, which are getting there, almost ready to dig, I should think. I've had a few out just to see what they're like, and under that sheet there I've put 3 watermelon, and there's the odd pumpkin and radish that I've dotted around here as well. Look at this pumpkin here, they're about to go berserk. And then so I put 4 sweet corn over there, and then I put 4 sweet corn here as well, and the ones here doing a bit better. You can see these potatoes, I measured them, they were a couple of weeks ago, they were 3 feet from the compost to the top of the tops where they were flowering, and the rain has squashed them down now. So I haven't watered these at all. I can't really get in there and see what's going on, but I'll probably dig them in a few days. And then this is my last of the pile of worm casts, and then this is what I started making. I pulled out some of the stuff that wasn't composted properly, and this is the pile we're adding to at the moment. Yeah, so we got some apples coming. This is the pin of a tree. That one's always, apart from last year we didn't get any. That's pretty good. There's a few over there on the bloody ploughman, and there's an odd one or two on the other ones as well, and the Camelot as well typically is looking pretty well loaded. So looking forward to some apples this year. And bees, well, it's only just after 9 and they're pretty active. This one here seems to be the biggest one this year, and they were yesterday afternoon about 3 o'clock when I came down here, and you couldn't even see the entrance. There was that many bees going in and out. The third and fourth box are pretty much full of honey already, and the fifth one there's half full. I had a look in it yesterday, and most of those are all making honey as well. Well, not most of them actually. The two on the end, then they are, and one this end, and the others in the middle, they're sort of either swarms or bits and pieces that I've brought back and around. Yeah, bees not happy with me standing here. Whew, I'm sweating already, and I haven't even been in the polytunnel yet. I'm going to make the most of it. They're only given 15 degrees for the next week maximum, so won't be nice to go back to that after this, I tell you. But yeah, what a beautiful day. Hello ducks. Whew, just came down to look at the bees, and 3 ducks come to meet me. You having a look around? Oh well, goodness knows where they go during the day. Another one down here. They're probably laying in the hedges as well everywhere. Anyway, better that than being stuck in all the time. They're only eating a little bit of barley. If I'm getting 10 or 12 eggs a day, I don't mind if 3 or 4 of them are laying somewhere else. Have a nice day, Mrs. Duck. The sweetcorn's not doing great down here. I've took the net off now. I mean, there's a few plants that I think are pretty good. So here in between rows I've planted radish as well. But you can see the sweetcorn there, and I mean there's a not too bad a plant, that row. And then the mulch, well the mulch is, they haven't done very well in the mulch. None of them, even the ones that I don't think the slugs have got to, even the ones in the pots, look, those 3 there should be all exactly the same stage, and the one not in the mulch does look better, and those there look better outside of the mulch than the ones in the mulch. So even if I can't really blame slugs for all of it, because some of them don't look like they've got any slug damage. They just, I mean, obviously there's a few here which have got slug damage, and they haven't grown at all. And these 2 rows in the middle are the control rows, and they are looking poor compared to the other rows. So get up to that. And these ones up here, which have got the companion in the companion rows, well, I'm going to say right now they're looking the best. So the ones that are companion planted, and obviously that one's in a pot, so he's looking pretty good. But there's some here not in pots, and they're looking quite good as well. There's one that's poking through the top. But look at the sunflowers here in the rows that got the compost. Celia. And the sunflowers are looking alright. You can see right up through there. So yeah, they didn't look good for a month today, but they've really come on in June. Mostly the sunflowers are looking above the Phacelia, which last year The Phacelia sort of swamped the sunflowers out when it flowered, but I guess it still might, because the Phacelia will put on a foot in the next week when it flowers. But at the moment, the sunflowers mostly are beating the Phacelia. So that's a bit different to last year and interesting. Right. I'll have a look in the polytunnel in a minute as well. Right, here we go. I'm not going to be in here very long. This green net I put over the entrance, not making a difference today because it's not windy, but it makes a big difference to the temperature in here on a breezy day. That's my sister's. She's put tomatoes and some peppers in here. I didn't really need this bit. I got overwhelmed with it all last year, so she wanted a bit of extra space, so I said, yeah, stick it in. So these tunnels here are the sweet potatoes, and they're starting to grow out the sides. I checked the temperature in there yesterday, and it was over 50 degrees inside those tubes. Whether that was touching the plastic maybe a little bit, but it was hot, and the potatoes seem to have done okay. They don't look like they're wilting. They're tropical plants, so see what temperature it is in there now. This is under the foliage. I can't see that, but maybe. What does it say? 35 degrees in there. It's only not even 9:30 yet. But that plastic's already hot. So here we go. They're doing all right. And watermelons, they are starting to run and flower. We've only got male flowers at the moment. Haven't seen any female flowers yet. But look at the corn, look at this. Whew. So this is up, well, I don't know, 4 foot is it already in the biggest plants? What a difference to outside, yeah? So for sweetcorn trials, I'm going to decide that already I'm not going to bother growing the outside. I got more room in here, I can just plant some more plants in here. I got 100 just in this small piece here, and they're doing fantastic. Now I'm trying to take out any weeds, so stinging nettles. There's one. I can't spend too long in here when it's sunny, but they just come out easy. But it's quite a lot of wheat which I'm letting to grow for a minute. I might cut that off, and there's tomatoes which I'll definitely top off, and beans. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. And this is my sort of wild area up here where I put the Phacelia, and that's starting to flower. And also there, look, white flowers, that's the diacons that I planted early flowering. So there's the thing, don't put them in before the middle of May by the looks of it, because the ones I put in middle of May don't seem to be bolting yet, although they might in a couple of weeks, I suppose. So yeah, this is a bit of a feral area. I flattened down a lot of this Phacelia, stood on it and just knocked it down. I don't want to let it seed in here, just sort of leaving it as ground cover. If it, I'll have to rip it out before it seeds, otherwise I'm going to be just stuffed with Phacelia in here all winter. Or actually, I don't mind it in here all winter, so if it grows up again in the spring. So yeah, these are the feral tomatoes, which I've got to do something with still when it cools down a bit. I can't spend more than about 20 minutes in here. Already the sweat is running off me. Dripping already. So yeah, courgette's doing alright. I only need one of those in the polytunnel, the way it grows. I sort of take one of them off every day pretty much. And cornichons, well, 2 or 3 plants doing really well, and 2 or 3 not doing very well. So I'm not quite sure what that's all about. But it was bought seed, so maybe there's just genetic variation. I'll have to try and save seed from the best ones. The tomatoes are all flowering, but there are a couple of tomatoes starting to form, but very small at the moment. And I've got a couple more watermelons down here that are running. There's some vetch I planted over there just as cover, just keeping that over the side. And there seems to be a lot of little hover insects. Not sure what they are, but they love the vetch. Hopefully they're, I don't know if they're parasitic wasps or what they are. But hopefully they're good. They'll keep I think they're predator wasps, maybe. So I'm hoping anyway. They'll keep down the insect. Don't seem to have any problems with insects yet. Oh, here's my first tomato. Biggest tomato. He's not very big at the moment, but yes, won't be long. And the beans, they're starting to, won't be long before we get some of those either. Couple of days, I reckon. Couple of days. But no, these cornichons are good. We've had quite a few. They're really sneaky. They grow really fast as well. They look like that one day, and the next day they're huge. Especially in this heat. I did pick them yesterday. Right, I don't know if you want to see how sweaty I am. It's warm. Anyway, make the most of it. Okay, so I've been and bought 60 new paintball guns. These are 50 caliber ones, and normally we use 68 caliber, and we have done for the last 19 years. We have had a few second-hand 50 calibers, and I have bought a few new 50 calibers which we've used a little bit, but now we're pretty much going to be going all 50 cal for most games, I think. So we've got 60, so we've got 30 red and 30 yellow, and put numbers on them all. I don't know how well that tape or the numbers will stay on them. We've put numbers on the top as well. We put the tape for team, so we're hoping that that will stay on. If it doesn't, we'll probably have to get some spray paint. We've used red hoppers and black hoppers before, but unfortunately they only come in black in this size for a minute, and might be able to get someone else. So these are a few of our old 68 calibers up here, which some of them are probably 10 or 12 years old. I don't think we've got any original 19-year-old ones left. They do wear out after a while. So we use the red tops and the black tops, which was much easier. They're old 50 caliber guns there. I bought those second hand anyway, so they were pretty much knackered when I bought them. These are just a few special upgrade guns. So this is the difference between the paintballs. So it doesn't sound much, 50 to 68, but in those pots there, we've got 100 paintballs in both of them. So the 68 on the left and the 50 cal on the right, and that's the difference in the paintballs. And they come in the same size box, so there's 4,000 of the 50 cal in a box, and 8 bags of 500 in that bag. And then the 68 caliber, they come 2,000 in a box. And you can see if I put one, I'll drop one, but you can see it's a fair little bit bigger. But anyway, same amount of fun, same amount of paint on the players. Well, maybe not quite so much, but we'll see. For trials and other people who've done it, it seems to be okay. I mean, they save a little bit of money because they're a bit cheaper on transport. Obviously, paintballs are a little bit cheaper, but the main saving is just on transport, which is quite expensive at the moment because obviously the boxes are half the size, and the guns are about the same price. And they should use less air, which should be a bit better. Maybe they won't hurt quite so much, I'm not sure. I've put them all over the radar and checked them for speed. So we run the others at around 240 to 250, the 68. And I've got these at the moment between 250, 260. They're sort of 260. I think I haven't let any go over 280 feet per second, that is. And the legal limit for 68 caliber is 300. I'm not sure what it is for 50 caliber. Obviously, it'll probably be more because, well, it will be more because it's 12 pounds per square foot or something like that. Anyway, there we go. We've got a group of young farmers coming this evening, so they'll try them out. I think there's supposed to be 40 odd of them, if they all turn up. So we'll have a go, see what they think, and well, I've done a 50 caliber before with the old one, so I know what it'll be like. But hopefully these guns will work fine, and from everyone I spoke to that's had them before, sounds pretty good. There we go. So I've had to cover, so I cover all the air bowls because we're in a, well, we've got a clear roof and it's quite warm today, but even when it's not, the sun shines, the bowls get quite hot and they're pressurized, so sometimes they blow the safety disc on if they get really hot, and you don't want to get really hot anyway, it stresses the bowls. So we keep them covered. Guns will be fine in the open, but the bowls we keep covered. So there we go. So we got 50 cows all singing and dancing. We've still got about the same 60 odd 68 calibers as well, and we'll still use the 68 sometimes, and we'll still use these, and occasionally when we've got more than 60 people we'll use both together, and that'll be a bit of fun. So next week actually we've got a school group coming that've got over 100, I think we've got 110, so we're going to have all the guns out and that'll be fun. Most we've ever done before I think was about 92 or 3, but this will be probably our biggest game ever, but usually we don't have more than 60, so we can use one or the other. It'd be rare when we use both together, but just for a school group it'll be okay. You won't even notice till they start picking them up and looking at the bruises they get. I suppose they'll get little ones and big ones. Whew. It's still warm, but it is starting to cloud up a little bit now. Look at that. Sun's going in a bit now. It's supposed to rain later, but let's hope not. There we go, last thing ready to see today. We've got a hen with 3 chicks. Not very exciting, but could have had a few more, girl, couldn't you? Anyway, hopefully we'll get some more in a while. We've got a few more broody hens, and ducks will go broody soon, I think. And we'll have some ducklings too soon. Well, in a month, or a bit more probably, because they take 28 days. Anyway, that's it for our midsummer update. And looks like we're back to winter again for next week.